Happy Tuesday, everyone. So we just released the Watch Brand Ads Scaling System, which is a 23-page, completely free PDF that shows you how to scale your watch brand with paid advertising. Now, I'm going to be completely honest here, and I don't want to worry you, but due to changes in Meta's algorithm last year, it's made it a lot harder for watch brands to scale profitably with paid advertising. And we spent over $1.5 million last year on ads on Facebook and Instagram exclusively for watch brands and watch accessory brands, okay? So we have learned what works and what doesn't work, especially with the new algorithm that's taken place into every ad account over the past year. And this literally tells you and explains how to run ads for your watch brand. So if you don't have it, make sure you get a copy. I'll leave a link in the description of this video so that you can get a copy. When you enter your details there on that page, we'll send you this PDF instantly if you want to watch it or read it, sorry. But what I thought I'd do in this video is go through page by page and explain on the whiteboard exactly how meta advertising works for watch brands. So if you're currently running ads for a watch brand, this will be invaluable for you because Meta Andromeda is really changed a lot, okay? So first of all, the key thing to understand is the path to purchase for advertising watches, okay? So let's say the purchase, let's move this, the purchase is here, okay? This dollar sign represents somebody buying one of your watches, for example. And here is your watch up here. It's a really bad drawing of a watch, okay? This is what the path to purchase looks like for any other product. So anything that isn't a watch, okay? That's the path to purchase, especially with advertising. It's very easy. This is the path to purchase, to be extremely simple with it, with watches. Right? So way more confusing. And the reason for this, as I explained in previous videos, is because there's multiple touch points, multiple attribution points when people go to buy one of your watches. They might watch a YouTube review, they might see PR. It's a considered purchase. Even if a watch is $80, it is still a considered purchase. And the reason for that is because the watch is going to be on your wrist for years to come. Especially the average male, we know that they really care about what other people think about what's on their wrist. So the watch is a considered purchase. They take time to think about what watch they want to wear. Okay, and Meta Andromeda, which is the new algorithm, that's what Meta are calling it, has changed how ads work. And in this video, I want to go through the best ad types, how to set them up, and how to set up a testing campaign and then a scaling campaign so that you can easily do ads without worrying about the algorithm, without worrying about Meta messing you around or your ads or ad costs rising, okay? In spring last year, we saw clients go from 2 to 5 watch sales at, let's say, $1,000 per day to 0. And we didn't know why at the time. Meta didn't actually tell us they'd rolled out this new algorithm until we discovered it ourselves. And what actually happened is things just didn't work for about a month and a half. And we saw this take effect in only 30 to 40% of our accounts at that time because they were slowly rolling it out in a sort of tiered stages across different ad accounts and different businesses. But it caused a big problem for us, and we actually had to change our team, our staff, and the processes that we use to run successful ads for watch brands. We had to hire a video editor, we had to hire graphic designers exclusively for ads because the game is now about more ad content than previously. So previously you could have less ad content, okay, and you could just be really good at media buying, which is the art of running ads, targeting audiences, setting cost bid caps, etc. All the technical stuff you hire someone to do. That has changed now. You now need expertise and creative analysis to succeed, okay? Now, let's talk about how Meta evaluates a watch ad, because whenever you run a set of ads on Meta, let me show you the campaign breakdown so that you understand this. Let's try and wipe this with this really bad sort of eraser I've got here. I know we're just into the start of this video, but the one thing I want to say, it really does help. If you have any time whatsoever just while you're watching now, please just hit like on the video and subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. If you want to share the video with a brand owner you know, then that honestly really helps. As you know, we're making these videos to help people for free so that you love the content and you book a call to work with myself and my team. Selfish, I know, but I hope you're enjoying these videos nonetheless. So let's say this is your campaign. When you go into Meta Ads Manager, you go to set up a campaign. We're just going to call this C1, it's campaign 1. So this is the first thing you set up. When you click, it says what type of campaign do you want to create, sales, engagement, brand awareness, etc. Leads, right? That comes up there. You select conversions, always sales, okay? Then you go to your ad set, and we'll just call this A1, okay? And your ad set is your audience. It's the easiest way. It's the audience, it's the placement of the ads. So in this section, which is the second screen you see when you set up your campaign, you choose your audience, your age range, your gender, your interests, and you also choose what placements you want the ads to show up on, okay? So for example, you can say, I only want my ads to be shown on Instagram stories. Now, I would never recommend anyone, specifically watch brands, ever do this, but you can do that, okay? So that is what happens in the ad set. Then after the ad set, you have the final thing, and now the most important thing, the ads, okay? Now previously, we've actually had accounts do really well with just 3 ads, okay? So that's an ad. Each one of these is an ad. Let's say it's a wrist roll, it's a studio shot, and an unboxing video, okay? We've seen accounts scale to insane numbers, like we're talking 20 watches a day sold with just 3 ads. That did actually work. We've done it, okay? However, since Meta's update last year, I'm not joking, you need to take the ads that you have, any new ads, and put them into a separate campaign, a testing campaign, which is C2. Sorry for my bad writing. And once you've tested them, you can graduate them into your main campaign. Now, the reason you have to do this is because you need more content. So instead of these 3 ads, you might need 8, you might need 12, you might need 20. We have accounts at this moment that are running more than 250 individual different ads at any one time just to keep profitable, okay? So the game has changed now. You now need to become a content creator. You need to have new wrist rolls, new music, new angles, new unboxing videos, videos that are lifestyle, etc. And I'll talk you through the winning ads that you can create now so that you can set this up right after watching this video and see the results and scale your ads. It is possible if you watch this video. So let me just wipe this out. Have a drink of my coffee as well, so I don't lose energy. If you are watching, I'd love to know where you're watching from. If you own a watch brand, if you plan to start a watch brand, please do comment below. Let me know. I will always reply to the comments on every video personally. So if you have any questions about this, if there's something I've not been clear on, which is entirely possible, please let me know, and I'll make sure to create another video just for you explaining your questions so that you know all your questions are answered, okay? Okay, so how Meta evaluates an ad now. So I hope you understand the basic structure. We will draw that again, and I'll break down how to set up those campaigns and when to promote an ad into your scale campaign. So you're going to have 2 different campaigns now. What I'm telling you to set up is a normal campaign, a scale campaign, but first and foremost, a creative testing campaign. Those are the 2 campaigns you need to create. If you're a larger account spending more, you may have different campaigns depending on regions you're advertising in, depending on if you want a catch-all campaign with some sort of custom audiences or retargeting built in. But that is the 2 core campaigns you need, which is testing and scale, okay? Now, the way it works now, because Meta is so content-based, it will take all of your ads. So let's say you've got this ad, this ad, this ad, this ad, and this ad. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you've got all these ads and you're really proud. Let's say your number 1 ad that you're proud of personally is a wrist roll or something, okay? And it's number 3 with the little star. Number 3 is the ad that you love, okay? You really believe that this ad is going to perform well. When an enthusiast sees it, when a watch buyer sees it, they are going to love your brand, okay? You take all your ads, your static images, studio shots, your wrist roll, your unboxing, whatever it might be, all your ads here and you put them into a campaign, and you start that campaign running on a budget of, let's say, $50 or $100 a day, for example, okay? The second that these start delivering, the second they spend any money, Meta makes immediate split decisions based on your ads and how people are responding to them. So for example, what we put in this document, the key reasons: does the watch stop the scroll within the first second or two? Okay, so does someone see the ad and actually hold? Do they have hold over the person? So when you're scrolling through Facebook, do you see that and go, oh, and you wait and watch it a little bit? Meta tracks that. They are tracking, if you keep scrolling, they track everything. They track the colors of the ads, everything that you can imagine, they track, trust me. Remember that Meta's goal is to keep people scrolling Instagram for longer, to keep them on the app for longer, to serve them more ads. So if your ads disinterest someone, they will cancel them. So let's say 2 of your ads, okay, do not stop the scroll. Number 2 and number 5, for example. Those are not going to get spend anymore. That they're done within a split second. Within spending even $1 to $5, they're done. Okay, they will keep spending, but on a small amount. Now Meta is taking more budget into this one, this one, this one. Number 3, the ad that you love is still in the running. Do people pause the scroll enough to take a valuable action, like view your page, for example, or click on the link to go to the website, and so on? Do they engage after seeing the ad? Do they come back? Meta makes all these decisions within a split second. So let's say, for example, that someone else scrolls on. They might stop and look at the ad, but they scroll on after that. But with ads 1 and 4, they typically view your profile page, or they like the ad, or they click to the website, right? Immediately, number 3, your favorite ad that you're convinced is going to work well is now cancelled out, okay? And it's not spending any money now, and all the spend is going to ads 1 and ads 4. These ads now graduate in the Meta algorithm into, let's say, winners, graduated winning ads, okay? Now, you thought 3 was going to do well. And what most watch brands typically do is they think, hey, why has that happened? And they'll turn off ads 1 and 4 and turn everything off except ad 3 to force spend into ad 3. The problem is Meta has decided that ad 3 doesn't work. It doesn't do what they need it to do. Okay, it's not about getting sales for you. It's about keeping people on the platform, or keeping them engaged enough to go to your website, right? So ad 3 is not going to perform. So if you force $50 a day into ad 3, after Meta has told you that it's not getting much spend, it's got low engagement, all you're going to see is cost per purchases that are ridiculously higher than they should be. So that does cause a bit of an issue, because if ads 1 and 4 don't fit your brand image or your branding as much, and suddenly they're performing well and getting an amazing cost per purchase, you might be happy, you can scale. But there's many brand owners that think, hold on, I don't really want people to be seeing these. I want them to see ad 3. That really tells them about the brand. So they try and force spend into ad 3 prematurely. And the result of that is basically a failed campaign, and you have to restart all over again. So the key point, or the key learning here, is listen to Meta. If you see an ad that you thought was doing well that isn't getting much spend, then quite frankly, it's not a good ad, okay? Let's just unlock this again. There is one thing I wanted to go through here specifically. Okay, so I've got this here. So, when we're testing, and this is going to annoy you if you're a watch brand based in the UK or Europe or whatever it might be. When we're going to set up the testing campaign, which I will get into in the video shortly, there is one place to target, one country to target. I'm going to write this here. And this is for testing, okay, and scaling, really, initially. Can you guess what it is? If you're a watch brand based in the UK, you might say the UK. If you're a watch brand based in Croatia, you might say Croatia. If you're a watch brand based in Singapore, you might say Singapore. Unfortunately, no matter where you are, and as long as you can ship there, of course, It's always the USA. Now, you're probably thinking, what about tariffs? Now, we have tested ads and we've set up testing campaigns in literally every country, even India, okay? And we can tell you for a fact that the best place to test post-tariffs still is the USA. It's the lowest cost per purchase. It has the most buyers, the most people willing to engage with your ads positively and buy watches from, okay? USA always. When you're doing a testing campaign, bite the bullet, target the USA. If you're in the UK and you only want to ship to the UK, please go ahead and run ads to the UK, but I promise you it's going to be way more expensive and way harder to break through. Now, you can do that, but the UK is similar to Australia when it comes to advertising. It's more expensive. People do not react well in general to ads. They just don't like it. The average person in the UK is disinterested by ads. People in the USA, for some reason see an ad and get excited. So we're going to target the UK with these campaigns, okay? Now, the testing process is really simple. And I drew this out before. You've got your testing campaign. You've got your ad set. And then you've got your ads, okay? And we'll draw the ads shortly. So here's what you need to do. Campaign 1, the budget is minimum $50 a day. Now, we always suggest to every brand that we work with $100 a day. The reason for that is because that is just how much you need nowadays to run ads. As I said at the start of this video, if you're a small watch brand, and it really does suck, and I appreciate this, it has got more expensive to become profitable and scale with Meta ads. You can still do it, but you need money up front. And the annoying thing is, when you want to really grow as a brand, there's no honestly other way that's more viable than with advertising on Facebook and Instagram. Like there's no other way. Google doesn't work, YouTube doesn't work unless you have a huge audience there that you can retarget, for example, right? So it's important to consider those options because you need to spend money. That's just a fact. If you think about this, if you're running, let's say, you know, one ad here, one ad here, one ad here, one ad here, okay? And in fact, let's do an ad there. And you have one campaign spending $100 a day. Okay, it's $100 a day and you think, wow, that's a lot of money, okay? And it's being distributed across 5 ads. Let's say you have one winning ad. Let's say it's even. It's not going to be even, but you've got 1 or 2 winning ads. You're only putting $50 a day roughly into those ads, and it's even less than that because even though these might be losing ads, Meta will still push a small amount of spend into each of these losers, right? So you need to be really, really careful about how you're distributing budget and how it's getting spent, which is why you want to work with an expert advertising agency like us. And if you want to learn about our services, you can click the description below, head over to our website, view our testimonials, watch the video, view the case studies, and book a free call with myself if you want to learn more. Anyway, these 2 ads that are winning, let's say you're spending $50 a day, $50 a day. Your goal with testing is to spend the average order value of your watch, okay, to know if even that ad is going to run good enough, is going to perform well enough and get you a good cost per purchase, okay? So let's say you need to spend, your watches are $500, you need to wait 10 days here and 10 days here to even know if you have a viable ad here, right? Meta's decided these are viable, but we haven't decided if people are actually going to buy. Meta's only decided that it keeps people on the platform long enough to satisfy their algorithm, right? So you still need to spend 10 days and 10 days here knowing if this is good. And if it isn't good, you need to create more ads and go back into testing, right? So let's say you've got your ads here. Now, this is ad 1 here. Let me get the iPad. You've got ad 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, these are all ads. You want to set up uniquely different ads that you have to test on Meta. Ooh. So I have got in this PDF, we've gone through all the different ads that we run for watch brands, the ones that we have found perform best, okay? And let me run you through them now. So number 1 is wrist rolls. I shouldn't have to go through what these are. It's really simple. You have a camera, a nice enough background, and you're doing a wrist roll of the watch, okay? That is ad 1. Now these wrist rolls should be long enough, longer than 15 seconds, so you can use a wrist roll for the first, let's say, 10 seconds of a video and cut on another video you might have at the end, just to keep the ad long enough to get data, to give metadata to decide if that ad's performing well. The next is static studio shots. Now these obviously are the sort of things you pay a lot of money for. Really nice, glamorous looking, well polished images of the watch in different positions, areas, the case back, the front of the case, macros of the dial, a macro of the crown, the straps, and so on, right? Okay, studio shots. So you've got wrist roll video, studio shot video. Now, you're probably noticing here already how many different ads you can make and test, because if you've got one ad that's a wrist roll and it doesn't perform well, you might sell 5 or 6 watches. So that is 6 different wrist rolls. But then you could change the music. Maybe this performs well, but it's just the music isn't working. So it's not getting spend. You change the music and suddenly it performs well again. So you can tell you've already got hundreds of different ad combinations. We've found ads where we actually make the entire wrist roll black and white perform really well, because people are like, oh, that's really interesting, but I can't see the colors of the watch, and they click to the website. So it gets more spend from Meta. We've found things like that actually work as well. So there's so many different things that you can test, and it's all about being creative, or at least having a testing process, which you can get in this doc. Third thing, short motion clips. So the watch interacting with light in front of a camera, a slow pan over the watch, light catching the dial, and so on. All these types of short motion-based clips work, and if you get them all together, stitch all these short motion clips together into a 30-second video, then you have your third ad that you can run and test. And again, the key thing to remember is that the music matters, the editing matters. We've found ads where it doesn't perform well, and we just change it so that there's a different shot at the front. And we found, for example, for a lot of watch brands, showing the case back first and then slowly coming round to the dial works way better. And we've had ads that have scaled watch brands so much further because we did that one change and that one edit and tested it, right? So you need to think, when an ad's dead, how can I revive it? How can I change it and retest it? And usually inserting new hooks, new clips, like a wrist roll at the start of a studio shot mashup, can work well. It can send that ad from boring into something that just breaks the stratosphere with Meta. The next one is close-up macro shots. So these work well in a carousel ad. They work well in static single image ads as well. If you have a super hyper close-up macro shot of the dial, you can run that as your fourth ad. For example, a close-up of the crown, a close-up of an exhibition case back or an engraved case back works really well also. And then the final two is team-led content or founder-led content. So if you're a founder, it's very simple. You sit down in a room with a wall or a black backdrop, you have a light on you, and you talk about why the brand started, or you talk about the watch that you've created, why you created it, and so on. Storytelling sells. That sort of stuff can be your fifth ad. Your sixth ad is lifestyle content, case use content. And it doesn't even have to look good, genuinely. We have ads that perform really well that were recorded on like an iPhone 3 underwater, genuinely. If you have a dive watch, get that watch on a deep sea diver or a scuba diver or someone diving, someone underwater in the ocean, and record them doing like a wrist roll or using the watch whilst they're diving or preparing for a dive and adjusting the watch, for example. I'm trying to think of another example. If you've got a sports watch or a racing chronograph, for example, of course, race drivers aren't your only customers. Watch enthusiasts, people who are looking for a nice watch, are your dream customer. However, you want to show them the watch in the situation it's based in. That's what lifestyle is. So somebody driving a vintage sports car or a Ferrari or a Lamborghini, right? And you can see the watch on their wrist. That performs well also. Now, you want to get all of these ads that I've just gone through, and once again, if you want to see an actual full PDF explaining this, click the link in the description and I will send it to you immediately. It's automatic, just enter your details and we'll ping it straight to you. Okay, so now that you've got all these ads, they will test. So as I said, you will see more engagement and more spend going to certain ads. Now, key metrics to look out for here is the click-through rate, for example. You want to watch out for ads performing well or ads underperforming. Now, My suggestion is you start running on $50 to $100 a day and you give it 2 weeks and you don't do anything. That's rule one, is patience, okay? The good thing about having an agency, for example, is we don't care about your money, right? We will happily spend your money on ads and we're unemotional. But when you're spending your own money, you're like, oh, I'm not sure about this. Oh, I might change the words here. And it resets every time. So that's why so many watch brands never get anywhere, right? So let's say your lifestyle stuff performs well, your macros don't perform well, or sorry, your wrist roll doesn't perform well, your team-led stuff doesn't perform well, and maybe your close-up macros, sorry, I think it was, don't perform well. So you've got these 3 ads that have performed well. They can be graduated into a new scale campaign, okay? Now, in this testing campaign, you have a set budget and you never spend more money. So once you have another campaign, which is your scale campaign, which is down here, there it is there, that's the campaign, that's the ad set. Let me actually just write scale and ad set 1 there. Once these are performing well, it's really simple. You hit duplicate on Meta and you put them here, okay? They go into this campaign, like so. Then you cut them, boop, 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 from your testing campaign, and you replace them. Every time you cut something, you replace it with a new ad in your testing campaign. So different music, or if you can, always just a different, fresh piece of content. Replace it, replace it, replace it. So you've always got 6 to 12 different ads in your testing campaign. This one here, this $100 a day down here, that's a separate campaign, $100 a day, has those 3 winning ads, and it will now start to spend more money only on these winning ads, okay? Only on these winning ads. And what then happens is you will start seeing more results, more stability, better cost per purchase. And when these stop performing, which they will, they might stop performing in a month, in 2 months, in a week, okay? You can immediately, because you're constantly testing new things here, you can immediately take the new winner you've got and duplicate it again. So you never fatigue, your content never fatigues or stops performing, right? That is how you do it in a nutshell. Now, the key thing to think about when you're running these campaigns is be unemotional and test in the USA. That's the 2 things that we have found works the best. Now, the way we do it in my business for all the watch brands we work with is really simple. We create a testing plan. We will test, we'll ask the client, the watch brand, for all the content they possibly have, all the content they have, and we will start testing that in a testing campaign. And we always say to clients, like, this is the reality of running ads, especially now, you need to give us time. Like, you need to give us time to test this. This is how it works. And a lot of brand owners get impatient, or they don't want to wait a month to test because they think, why can't you just turn it on and make a machine that for every $1 I gives it gives me 5 back? I mean, that's absurd, right? That doesn't happen anywhere. Nobody's been able to multiply money like that ever. And if they have, it's a scam, right? We need time to test with all the watch brands we work with, but we have scaled watch brands from $16,000 to $20,000 a month, all the way up to $100,000 a month, genuinely in less than a year. It is that possible. You just need to be unemotional and you need to constantly test. And if you're a watch brand who only has static images and you don't have any video content, there's no point in advertising. You need video content, you need variety of content, so you need to be able to edit stuff on the go. And what we do is we've now got a video editor and a graphic designer dedicated only to our clients' Meta ad accounts. And the reason we do that is because we create reports every month on what creatives are doing well and how we're going to try and remake new versions of them, new iterations that we then put into the testing campaign, right? That is how we do it. Now, I hope this video has been valuable. That is genuinely how we scale and test campaigns. It's patience, it's spend, and it's constantly editing and thinking and brainstorming and coming up with new ways to interest watch buyers, watch consumers, okay? Now, I'll be back next week with another video. If you enjoyed this, please do hit like and subscribe, and I will see you then. Bye-bye.